I am so ready to dig in deep once more because this is going to be ever so delicious. I hope you've got your fork ready because I've got my fork ready and we are ready to dig in deep once more. Who have we got with us? The high priest Aaron, and we've got, of course, the 14 gods, that which we are the embodiment of. So the table is set, and of course, I'm just the host. So there we go. When I say I'm the host, I'm actually the waitress, if you like. Just okay. You place the order, and just I'm just putting this before you. So the main host, I believe, is Aaron. Really. So I believe we are going to have a fantastic time. So, we are doing this exploration around self expression. And of course, let me just take the opportunity to verbally ignite the spirits of the created God, the God of creation, the God of calling, and the God of causation, the God of making, the God of movement, the God of endings, the God of division, the God of sorrowings, the God of sayings, the God of settings, like setting the table, the God of planting, I think I may have said, the God of formation, the God of breath, and the God of blessings. And I believe I have named all the gods, the 14 gods. And so we are now ready to salivate on this lovely deliciousness. And of course, of self exploration, self expression. Now, self expression had been chosen by High Priest Aaron, and I really thought, well, okay, is that what you're really telling me to do, to really announce on self expression? And I said, well, is there anything that I need to know before we do this? Because self expression is broad, but then can see, there are various angles that we could really um, attack, if you like, this topic to really make sense. But I really want to work harmoniously with the gods and the high priest. So I did ask Aaron, is there something I need to read on before I could to help me understand? Because on self-expression, I wasn't really feeling so much the spiritual connection, although it is very much spiritual. But when he said that, I was thinking, well, as if I needed to hold something or get some quotation or something from the Bible to really make sense of it, because I'm thinking of the high priest Aaron really like in scriptural sense. And then I said, okay, well, do guide me. And then I was guided to Numbers, the book of Numbers, chapter 38, sorry, 35. Of course, 3 plus 5 is 8. And I'm just really working, and he's really reminding me, okay, now Aaron is saying you are beginning to already get the essence of why I ask you to do this self-expression topic. And one of the things that the text in particular that I felt drawn to, that Aaron was talking about, because basically the whole text is about what someone does to really qualify them as a murderer, and to how they should be punished, so to speak. And but then when it came to the 30th verse, meaning the number three that sets things into motion. So the 30th verse was, whosoever killeth a person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses, but one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. So basically, you need to have more than one witness to say yes, that this person had committed something. Now, what really caught me, and in fact, what Aaron was really drawing my attention to, is really the word mouth. And he says, so death, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth. And we see that So, okay, I am getting, Aaron is now coming through about the mouth is really like the womb. He's reminding us the mouth is like the womb. It could birth out, it could suck in. Basically, he's reminding me that, or reminding us that the mouth is, it has the tongue, which is said to be most, the most powerful weapon, or the strongest muscle of the body. But Aaron is saying, yes, the most powerful weapon, if you like, because the words are of life and death, and it is in the mouth. Hence, Christ also said about, it's not what you eat, what you take in, but it's what you give out that defiles you. So basically, what you give out is an expression of what you had taken in anyway. So it's like what you take in will be reflected outwardly. So so I'm asking Aaron, okay, on what angle now should we be looking at self-expression? And of course, with mouth, Aaron is reminding me that, or reminding us that our mouths have been covered at the moment, which is very significant and very symbolic. Very symbolic. Having the mouth covered is very symbolic. It means that you are not in a position of exercising that strongest muscle that you have or you possess, which is the mouth. So let's look at in numerology the word mouth, and of course, um, another thing that I really want to point out before I go on, I felt I needed to read on Aaron's death again, not meaning to go too much into it, but I felt that here in the scripture here, and I'm hoping you could see it. So it's really headed here that Aaron dies, but it's on the 22nd verse. And I believe again, which is what I hadn't seen before, and but Aaron has pointed this to my attention. We can see that the I don't know what this symbol is called, this little dark symbol here, which is like but it to me, I take this as it's a symbol of paying closer attention to that text, or it has maybe different layers to it. So this is where it Aaron, of course, equals 22, and I just thought that on the number 22, that is very symbolic. We also have throughout this text, we will return to these again, because likewise we have the 14th verse is also very significant here as well. So um, back to the self-expression. We are going to look at self-expression. I really thought we were going to go into the one and Neo again, because it has been so delicious, but perhaps too much of a good thing is not good, put it this way. And if we need to return to this or perhaps touch on it, we will. So, in case you are new to this channel, I am Crime Queen, and this is where we delve into numerology and scriptures, our scriptural references, and seeing how this pertain to us in our world today. So, there we go. Let's look at self-expression. S, okay, SELFEXPRESSION. Okay, so perhaps I ought to do this separately so we can see self. I know self is 6, but let's do this. 5, 3, no, this is 9. 9. Adding this together, this is 10 and 16, 21. Oh, I actually thought self was 1, 2. Oh, I've got something wrong. Well, I know I've got a splendid memory. This is L, so this is 3, 6, so this is 15. So self is 15, which means when we speak of self or when we think of self, we are thinking of new. It's like the self is always new. And it's like we are centered. This is when you think of self, you are being self centered. So basically, self is being self centered, and you are being in this new on the five. Okay, so here we have six. Uh, so 15, 1 plus 5, and this equals 6. Okay, and we also know that the word 6 gives us 7. It's 16, so 1 plus 6 is 7. And we know this is where we understand that the numbers, it's good that we look at the numerical symbol and the word form. Okay, so we know 7 is 1, and which takes us to oneness. The sixth day of creation, the seventh day of rest, or the seven chakras, or the seven um okay, pyramids, if there may be more, but whatever seven signifies, 7 days of the week and so on. So we see seven has been, I feel that I need to explain a little bit more on seven, because this is against the two sets of creation. Seven, I was also reading on the story of Joseph, or is it Jacob, who worked for 7 years. I think it was Jacob, to have his first wife, which he really liked, was Rachel. But of course, the father, or Rachel's father, felt that. Or it was traditional that the first daughter gets married off before the second or third, whatever. And so he had to work another 7 years to get the one he really loved. So basically, we see that there were two wives here, and he also worked. So basically, he worked 14 years for the wives, and that too is very symbolic of the number 14 that we have been talking a lot on. 1 plus 4 is 5, but which as well becomes new and centered here. It's very, it coincides with the 14 gods that we are of. So I don't feel the stories are coincidental at all in this sense. And so we see that there were two wives, and they had sons and maybe daughters, but they had children birthed at from both wives. And this means whether they had their maids to have children for them, but from two streams, those children were born onto, I'm trying to remember if it's Jacob or Joseph, but it's a J anyway. Yeah. And so this is really showing another example of the two creations. So let's look at, and I thought I would mention this as in seven, an expression. I don't think the word expression is in the Bible, but it's just self-expression. And I would say in this sense that, okay, Aaron is really asking as well, what do I feel, or what do we feel self-expression ought to be? So self-expression for me is that you are given the liberty to really express yourself, to express who you truly are without inhibitions. And so Aaron is really saying this is why he as well was appointed to express that which he truly was as a high priest, one who really meant well, who was holy enough that God would appoint him as the high priest for the people. And he's also saying, well, that was also part of expressing himself, and it has been misconstrued about building the golden calf, because the golden calf was all it's about our physiology. So he's reminding us it's like the calf is like the Taurus. Oh, it's and Taurus actually, I can see, okay, I can see why Aaron is really reminding us on this to pay attention to Uranus in Taurus at for the next seven, or well, it's around 7 years from 2018, I think, or 20 could it have been 2017, but for about 7 years. So, and Taurus is the earth sign, and has the responsibility to guard the earth. And so this was what Aaron was representing. And I can understand why Aaron is now more and more coming through as our host in these times. And of course, and Taurus as well is symbolizes the voice, the spokesperson, communication. And we know, of course, Gemini is communication, but here Taurus is here, and so it's communication. And so, this is why Aaron is saying that we need to pay attention to the words that we speak, and how we express ourselves through communication. But it is almost like a bit sad that we have a lot of us have voluntarily bought into covering our mouths, that really inhibits that self-expression. So thank you, Aaron, for this. Um, basically, well, Aaron is reminding me to get this numbers done. So we have 9511965. So adding this is 10, this is 21, this is 31, 36, 43, 49, 54. So 54 is 9. And so we have self is 6. I can see why Aaron again has been guiding us to really think about self-expression. So self-expression, I was thinking that it's really kind of, it felt a little bit odd, because I had it written on a card, and I had self-expression, and I was looking, and Aaron is saying, yes, this is what you have to do, this the presentation on. And I thought, self-expression, okay, what am I meant to say? You better help me here. So basically, self-expression, we have expression is 9, and we have self is 6, and 6 plus 9 is 15. So this is, we are going back to 15 that we have had here. Now, Aaron is also saying, well, go ahead, and you need to do, it's like he's saying you need to do this, the numerical value for the word 15. So it's not just having 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So they're saying, yes, you are realizing that you are the number 6. You are 6, the number of man. You are 6, the day on this day of creation, and reminding us that everything that was ever created, we are the embodiment of all there is. And so we need to express our autonomy. This is yeah, I was thinking our power, but they say no, our autonomy. So this is what we need to express. So the word 15, FIFT double EN, 15. Why am I thinking that it should be double FIFT double EN? Okay, so this is 6 9 6 2 5 5 5. Adding this together, this is 15, and 15 30, and this would be 38. So wow, 38. So 3 plus 8 is 11. I can see, thank you, Aaron. I can see why Aaron is really still drawing our attention to this. So basically, okay, Aaron is saying self-expression is the thing that this is key right now. It is really key. It's that with 11, we are still in that position here. We are also here in this bucket, BKT bracket, or bucket or basket. We Because one plus one is two, and so this still takes us into the same incubation period. And this is where a lot of us, whether we like it or not, we are in this incubation period. But he's also saying that remember, it's like remember. I think that remember is Aaron's favorite word. Remember that we are we are anew. So here is this new position here. So being 15, 38, 3 plus 8. And that we also are meant to look at 3 here and 8. So you're either striking your luck or how you are dealing with headquarters zone, because okay, this is what Aaron is saying, a lot of things are going to happen that we are going to have to create our luck here with, as we had seen, this number 9 for expression and number 3 here. So it's like luck. um in these expressions, we are meant to really have clear idea of what it is we want for ourselves. And so if not, we are going to have to face this headquarters zone, of course, which is number 8, which is the template. We need to be ready for this new template that is being created. But because our mouths are covered, we are not using our mouths to break that template, which is number 8. The 8 is actually like Mother Eve ate, when Mother Eve ate of the fruit. I really like to see this 38 here, which is also reminding us about the 5 gods of Genesis chapter 2. The 5 gods there, they equal 38. So it's as if we okay, so Aaron is saying that we need to pay attention to our senses. Our 5 senses are channels by which we communicate to the higher to our higher self. So we need to ensure that those pathways are not blocked. And so our 5 senses are we can engage our 5 senses. There is another thing that I feel Aaron is telling us about. There's an emphasis on the headquarters zone. The headquarters zone, he's saying, is something we really need to pay attention to. The authorities that are coming with things like vaccine um, and of course the mouthpieces that are mask, because this is masking our, the mask is not just a physical representation, but it's masking, it's like masking our true identity. And we are now with Aaron is saying, especially as the mouthpiece, we need to speak our opinions, we need to speak that expression. So I'm going to leave this here. In fact, let me just so I feel that we have really touched on everything that is relevant for our self-expression here. It's remembering, and of course I'm wearing blue as well, so I think it is important that we wear blue and we really learn the significance of our mouth, the tongue, the voice, and everything is in our mouths. In our mouth is like such a profound instrument that we have. And so High Priest Aaron is really telling us to ensure. In fact, the mouth is number 5. I hadn't done this on here. I think it's 23. So it 2 plus 3 is 5. And so this is what the High Priest Aaron is reminding us, that Mother Eve ate of the apple, and this is how we have come to be um, expressions of life, or to self-express ourselves in this way. So basically, um, we are now ready to express our true selves, our higher self, or whatever it is that is necessary for evolution. Be mindful of what is happening around you, and Be unafraid because the gods are with you, and the gods are ready to work harmoniously with you right now. So I am so thankful for this message, and really truly grateful and for you to have your presence. So my dear ignited souls, and this was a delicious meal, so I hope you have found it delicious. Do invite all your friends and family for the next course. Okay.